Meeting called to order. Councilmember Abez Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Chapman.
Here.
Councilmember Clayton.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Quinn. Here. Mayor Moore.
Here.
Please stand for a silent prayer, a moment of reflection. We will now salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As to comply with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in the following manner. The annual notice was forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Star Ledger on January 3rd, 2023, and posted on the bulletin board the same date. All notices are on file with the city clerk. At this time, we are on to matters from City Council. Councilmember Abez Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. That's all for me. Sorry.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yvonne Clayton and I will be hosting Coffee with a Council Person tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Cameo Market. We invite everybody to come out, have a cup of coffee with us, and talk to us a little bit about what your concerns are, or just ask us questions about what's going on in the city. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that this is our first year doing a participatory budget. On the 15th of March, we'll host a session where the submissions will be unveiled. People will talk about them, explain what they are, and then everyone in the city gets to vote if you're 14 years or older. It's an open submission. Voting is active through the end of March, and these are projects that will take place on city-owned property and will be part of a capital project. So we hope to see you here on March 15th.
Thank you. Councilmember Clayton.
I don't have anything. I just want to say, please come out and see us tomorrow morning at Cameo, 10 o'clock.
We're buying the coffee.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Nothing.
Thank you. Mayor Moore.
Buying bagels?
Just coffee.
Maybe.
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you. Matters from the city manager?
I have nothing, Lisa, thank you.
Thank you. Matters from the city attorney?
We have nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. We're now on to public participation. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Move it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation portion of the meeting is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and there will be a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Again, your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Okay. Yes?
Yes.
Hi, Rita Morano, 8th Avenue. And I'm going to not talk about the budget tonight. There's more important things going on besides the coffee tomorrow. You should be having a meeting on Holy Spirit Church. God's house, they want to knock it down. You got to get involved in this. You must get involved. You can't just do resolutions and ordinances. You have to make a statement, and it has to be loud and clear. You can't knock down God's house. That has to stay there. And I don't know what you've done so far. I saw a couple of you on Sunday, not all of you. No, but you'll be at the coffee house tomorrow, I'm sure. But you have to take an interest in moral issues too. And that happens to be a moral issue. There's many people, hundreds of people are upset with this because Holy Spirit's been there over 100 years. That cross on the top hasn't moved. It's a beautiful church and it's got to stay there. Even if the city has to do something to keep it. Buy it, maybe buy it, I don't know. I'm not interested in buying new things, but maybe you could swing something because it's a very useful building. There's 2 buildings. And I want to know, how can it be assessed at 3.588, almost 3.6, and it's only selling for 1.7? There's something fishy about this whole thing. And I think you have to get involved. People want you involved. Everybody that I talk to on, what's city council doing? and you're sitting back. No, this is one time where you have to make a statement. Do you want to keep the building? The realtor's telling everybody that you want to knock it down. You ought to clear that up, because that's not true, I don't think. I don't know. Everybody has a different opinion. But this is God's house, and you got to pay attention to what's going on. This has been there over 100 years. It's all marble. It's a beautiful building. You can't let them, they almost wrecked taking the altar out. And now we've all belonged to that parish, and we would still be there if they keep saying that they didn't have attendance, but they kept taking things away from that church. Even Ash Wednesday, which is today, you couldn't get ashes in Holy Spirit. You had to go somewhere else. No daily prayer that a lot of people do. I mean, you have to do something. Now I want an answer. Will you help?
Okay, Rita, there's very little that we can say because we're being sued by JLD Investments. JLD Investments was the applicant before the planning board to subdivide it into 5 or 6 lots. So that was their choice, not the city's choice. So as much as it's being said, the city wants to knock it down, we didn't apply. JLD applied for the subdivision. It was turned down at the planning board. Now JLD's suing the city. So it's in the courts. So that's basically what you read in the paper is all we can say. And if you read last week's Coaster, it was the most confusing article ever because it is a confusing law case. And when you read tomorrow's, you're going to be even more confused because it was up online today. But so because it's pending litigation, that's all we can say. But again, the city did not apply to subdivide it into lots to build houses. JLD did. And that's all I can say.
Well, you didn't vote to knock it down neither, did you?
No.
Does that mean that?
No, the city never voted to knock it down. The city never recommended to knock it down.
Well, why don't you write a letter?
Our hands are tied because of court, Rita.
Well, you got to say something.
Okay, well, I think I'm probably going to get scolded by the lawyer that I went a little bit overboard with my response to you, but that sets the record straight. The city didn't apply to knock it down. The city did not apply to subdivide it. The applicant did. It was turned down at the planning board, and now the applicant, JLD, is suing both the planning board and the city. So that's where we stand.
Well, when is that meeting?
It means only in America.
Well,
Yeah.
better save it. It's God's house.
Anybody else like to be heard? Okay.
Denise Nadell, 8th Avenue. I was just wondering if you could give us an update on Convention Hall and what we're doing to keep it restored. I know Madison Marquette was in talks with some private citizens about trying to get something done. We're just wondering if there's any updates on the property.
No, much to our chagrin, no updates. We continue to,
Hold them in default.
right, this past month, we held them in default about the steam plant and casino. And there's been some correspondence back and forth, but as far as Convention Hall itself, going back to like March of 2022, when we met with Amir Hammer, and he was going to give us answers. We haven't gotten those answers. We sent letters or emails in July and August. He hasn't responded to those. We asked him, would you please seal the building so the salt air doesn't get in it and salt water, and it becomes like Surfside, Florida, where the mayor was on national TV saying salt air, salt water, concrete and steel doesn't react well, and the building fell down. And that's when we got very concerned about Convention Hall and asked for their structural engineering report. They shut down Convention Hall. The city did not. We shut down the Paramount because it has a leak in the roof. As soon as they fix the leak in the roof, which I'm told is not that expensive, the Paramount could be open tomorrow and we could get back later day and all the concerts we're losing to Count Basie. But as far as correspondence from Madison Marquette, it's been slim to none. And they just don't respond.
When is it over? When is the deal over with Madison Marquette?
I believe 30 years from 2022.
It's like 2032 or something like that.
Anybody else like to be heard? A motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public participation portion is now closed. We are now on to the minutes. I have the executive meeting minutes and regular meeting minutes of February 8th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yep.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We are now into consent agenda resolutions. All matters listed on consent agenda are presented collectively to the City Council and will be considered for approval with one vote. These matters are considered to be routine in nature, and there will be no individual discussion of these items. If discussion is desired by one or more council members as to any particular item, then said item shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. On consent agenda tonight, we have resolutions 2023-133 through 2023-135. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-136, individual resolutions. A resolution approving payment of bills.
Move it.
Second.
A second.
Thank you. Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
No.
Resolution 2023-124, resolution awarding a bid for 2023 pavement and sidewalk improvements.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-137, a resolution authorizing payment for repairs needed to the air handlers at the municipal building.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-138, a resolution approving change order number 7 for Bond Street Improvements Project.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes. And just for everybody's knowledge, the change order is for $0. So there's no money being added to the project.
Thank you. Resolution 2023-139, a resolution authorizing the City of Asbury Park to implement the competitive contracting process to procure vendors to operate a rideshare program.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-140, a resolution authorizing the annual renewal of 5 storage contracts.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-141, a resolution supporting Monmouth County's federal funding application under the U.S. Department of Transportation's fiscal year 2023 RAISE grant for improvements along Asbury Avenue between State Highway 35 and Ocean Avenue North in the townships of Neptune and Ocean and the city of Asbury Park.
Move it. Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-142, a resolution amending an agreement between the City of Asbury Park and NV5 for preliminary engineering work in regards to the Safe Routes to School grant.
Move it.
Second.
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We are now into ordinances, second reading, public hearing. I have ordinance 2023-7, an ordinance of the City of Asbury Park authorizing the execution of a financial agreement with 202-204 7th Avenue Urban Renewal LLC concerning property located at 4201 Lot 4.01, formerly lots 3 and 4 on the tax map of the City of Asbury Park, and granting a tax exemption. Do we have an overview on this ordinance? Thank you, Joanne. Go ahead.
from Marizidi and Falconville.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, and members of the public. I'm here to talk to you tonight about the proposed financial agreement between the city and the master developer, which is Asbury Partners, now iStar, and the subsequent developer, which is an LLC called 202-204 7th Avenue Urban Renewal Entity. The financial agreement provides for a 30-year payment in lieu of taxes structure. The pilots make the project financially viable, allowing it to be constructed, provides certainty on what the taxes will be over the course of time, and that certainty acts as an incentive for the project to be built. The city's financial consultant, Eric Aguiar, looked at the financials, and his analysis indicates that if the project were not to be built, the city would receive taxes in the amount of $726,000 over the course of 30 years, whereas if the project is built with the financial agreement and also a special assessment agreement, which is the ordinance next on the agenda, the taxes would be $3.9 million over the course of 30 years. If there's any questions about the pilot, I'm happy to address them.
Okay. So what do we need, a motion to
May
open?
I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2023-7?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-7 is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and your comments may be regarding ordinance 2023-7 only.
Rita Morano, 8th Avenue. How can, those numbers don't seem to jive. How could we only get 700 and something thousand, and then after 30 years we get that? I mean, that's not really a good argument.
The difference in the numbers, and I didn't do the financial analysis because I'm only a lawyer, and I'm not a financial professional. But the difference in the numbers is between what the city would get in taxes if the project were not developed versus what the city would get if the project is developed. It's meant to demonstrate that it's successful.
Yeah, and if I can, it's improved and unimproved lot. So that, the 700 is an unimproved lot, the improved lot would be the 3 million.
That still doesn't make any sense.
So if you have a piece of land with nothing on it, taxes, we would get $700,000 over 30 years. Now we put an improvement, the estimate is we would get about $3 million over the 30 years because there's an improvement to the land.
But what about the school tax that you don't pay?
The school's budget will not change. It won't be affected.
Yeah, and in fact, it's the ratables that are increased to the city, so the burden is lessened on the school as well as the rest of the taxpayers.
But you're still not paying school tax, right?
Wrong.
No, I mean, some of these rules are really insane, like eminent domain, when they take your property and give it to somebody else. And now this, everybody's getting a good tax abatement for 30 years, when none of us will be here. I mean, I don't think that you should be thinking along those lines.
It's a requirement of the waterfront redevelopment agreement that they get a pilot. The council does not have the option.
That might have to be changed, like you change everything else in the agreement. Do you ever think of that?
Yeah, but Rita, it can't be changed unilaterally, and I've tried to explain this to you before. It's like, say you sold your house to me, and we have a signed agreement. I buy your house. You can't go and change the price after I bought it. This is a signed agreement by a past council with the developer, which anything in the waterfront redevelopment automatically gets a pilot. There's nothing all five of us can do to change it. There's nothing 16,000 people in Asbury Park can do to change that, unless the other party wants to negotiate and change it. We just can't do it unilaterally. I would love to change it. We can't.
But yeah, but everybody's coming in now, right? Land grabbers, I call them.
Okay. Anybody else like to be heard? No, motion to close.
Move to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-7 is now closed. Motion to adopt ordinance 2023-7.
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
We're now into ordinance 2023-8, ordinance of the City of Asbury Park in the County of Monmouth and State of New Jersey, providing for the special assessment of certain wastewater, stormwater, streetscape, utility, and other infrastructure improvements on Block 4201, Lot 4.01, formerly Lots 3 and 4, Rhythm Asbury Park within the Asbury Park waterfront redevelopment area, and establishing a mechanism for payment of the cost thereof. Joanne will provide us with an overview.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
If adopted, this ordinance would authorize the execution of a special assessment agreement with the subsequent developer, which is the same LLC that I just spoke about. It's the same project. The special assessment agreement works hand in hand with the financial agreement, and it allows for essentially the repayment of a bond that was issued, which provided upfront financing for millions of dollars worth of infrastructure improvements that were required to support the various redevelopment projects being built within the waterfront redevelopment area.
Thank you.
Motion to open the meeting to the public on ordinance 2023-8.
Move it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-8 is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and your comments may be regarding ordinance 2023-8 only. I'm not seeing anyone.
Motion to close.
Move to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-8 is now closed. Motion to adopt ordinance 2023-8.
Move it.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn has left the room. Mayor Moore.
Yes. Before we go on to the next one, let me just say something, Donna, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, Rita, as much as we can't change the agreement, we can put stipulations in the agreement for them to like agree with us. In all the agreements being done, there's a workforce initiative where they have to hire so many apprentices, so many interns, and then offer so many scholarships. And if they don't do that, then they have to pay into a fund for affordable housing. And they got to make a good faith effort, and they have to report to Donna the good faith effort and everything. So this project's getting close to being ready to start. So I'd like to know, like, when they get in touch with you, where their information center is going to be and how they're going to advertise it, how we're going to get local Asbury Park residents jobs.
Absolutely, Mayor. And they've already started the workforce development process, although this hasn't been adopted until this evening. So they've been working on it, but once we have more details, I'll be sure to share it with council.
Right, and we'll share that with the entire city and just not through social media, because we'll drop it off at churches, bodegas, barbershops, trying to get youth of Asbury Park good paying jobs, which are apprenticeships where they can move up the ladder with scholarships. So that's something that we can add to these agreements, and we do add. So thank you, I just wanted to explain that, Rita. Next.
Thank you. We're now on to ordinance 2023-9. Ordinance of the City of Asbury Park amending and supplementing Section 10 entitled Special Duty Assignments of Article 5, Departments and Divisions of Chapter 2, Administration of the Code of the City of Asbury Park. Donna, would you like to provide an overview on this?
Yes, Lisa. This is an increase to the rates that our police officers are paid when they're doing outside jobs. This is not an overtime job. This comes out of traffic safety, security assignments at our local bars, and then nonprofit events such as parades and other. So these rates are paid for the officer per hour as well as administrative fee for the City of Asbury Park.
Thank you. Motion to open up the public meeting, the meeting to the public hearing on ordinance 2023-9.
Move it.
Open.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-9 is now open. Any member of the public who wishes to speak, please use the microphone. Your comments may be regarding ordinance 2023-9 only.
Seeing nobody, motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing on ordinance 2023-9 is now closed. Motion to adopt ordinance 2023-9.
Move to adopt.
Second?
Councilmember Bez Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Chapman.
Yes.
Councilmember Clayton.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Quinn.
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes.
If no one has anything else, we move on to adjournment.
Move to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.